Hey Nob Hill Nighthawks, here we are with Module 1, Lesson 3, where our focus is going to be I am successful when I can name numbers within 1 million. So we're continuing to work with our place value chart, but we're going to work with larger numbers today. And what we're going to try to do is to be able to read those larger numbers correctly. And we're going to use the place value chart to help us read them correctly. So here's an example of what that place value chart is going to look like the larger it gets. So here's our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 million, 100 million. We don't work with 10 million, 100 millions too much, but it's good to know that it's there. And it kind of helps you see the pattern. So if you look at this, we've got tens, hundreds, thousands. 10,000s, 100,000s, million, 10 million, 100 million, and so on. So if you notice that pattern, it's kind of going to help you remember where each place value should be placed. Because remember, I want you guys to be able to draw that out by yourself. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, if you try to kind of memorize those place values, 1 is going to help you to draw it out. 2 is going to help you how to read those bigger numbers and figure out which place value has certain values. Okay, so here we have a number, and it just looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 right now because we have not placed that in our place value chart to really understand what the values of each digit are. So I'm going to take this and put it in my place value chart correctly. So there's my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. And now that's given each digit a value. Okay, so I have 1,000, 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 4 ones. But what are we missing in our number? That kind of helps us understand what our number is. We're missing that comma. And the very first comma is always going to go after your thousands place. If you have any value in the thousands, our comma is going to go right behind it. So now that looks like a number. Right? So now we have 1,000. These 3 digits we read together as 234. So this is 1,234. Okay? So being able to place those digits here allows us to see that it's not just a random line of numbers, but they each have certain value. Okay? So what if I added another digit, and we can look at that, and now that we know kind of what we're dealing with, we can kind of picture what that's going to be, what that worth, the value is going to be, but I'm still going to place them in the correct spots just so I can see the different values. And again, where's that comma go? We're missing our comma. The comma is always going to go after the digit in our thousands place. So now we're going to read this as 12. These two digits we read together because they're in front of that comma. These 3 are behind together, so we read those together as 12,345. Each of these, and this isn't worth just 1, right? It's worth 1 10,000. This is worth 2 thousands, 3 hundreds, 4 tens, 5 ones. So as we're writing those numbers, they have different values depending on the place value that they are in. Okay? Let's give ourselves a big number. And I want you guys to think, well, where am I going to put? Where am I going to put my commas to make this easier to read? Okay, draw yourself a place value chart. If you're not sure where that thousands place is, and then place them correctly. The number all the way to the right is always going to be in our ones place. So it's going to look like this. Ooh, now we got some value in our millions. So our first comma, we're going to need 2 commas for this number because it's so big. Our first comma always goes behind our thousands place. And our second comma always goes right behind our millions. So we're going to read this number as 1,000,000. These 3 we read together. 234,567. Looking at that without the commas, looks like I'm just putting numbers in order. As soon as we put those commas in there, it makes it a large number with value. Okay? So now we're going to use our place value chart to help us represent numbers, showing what they would look like in standard form and converting it from an expression. Okay, so it's going to look like this. If I had 4 thousands plus 11 hundreds, what's our value going to be? Okay, so I have 4 thousands. I'm going to show those 4 thousands. I have 11 hundreds. I'm going to show 11. But what do we learn in lesson 1 and 2? If I have 10 in one place value, that means I can bundle those and move them over to my larger place value. So I'm going to take these 10 and move them over for 1,000. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thousands and 100. I don't have any value in my tens or my ones, but I need those zeros in there as the placeholders so I know that this one is 100 and not 1, 1. So now we would read this as 5,100. 5,100. Oh, you can't really see that. There we go. So using that place value chart to figure out where your numbers should fall, where are going to help you be able to read that number, especially when we get to those bigger numbers in the millions and 100,000s. Okay, we're going to try one more. Using the chart to solve our expression or equation. So our next one is 10 times 3 thousands. Remember from our last lessons, if I'm multiplying by 10, I'm moving to the left on my place value chart. So my numbers are going to get larger. So 10 times 3 thousands. I'm going to show my 3 thousands. I'm multiplying those by 10. Those 3 thousands are going to become 3 10,000s. So that's going to give me 3 in the 10,000s. I don't have any value in my smaller place value, so I have to put that 0 in there to represent. There are still place values there, I just don't have any value in them. My comma, thousands place. So 10 times 3 thousands is going to give me 30 thousands. 30,000. If I were to not fill these empty place values with 0 and just write 3, do you guys see the difference in that value? That's a dramatic difference. So if you don't have any value in the place values below where you do have value, so I have value in my 10,000s, I don't have any below it, but I still need to put the 0, or else it's not going to show me a correct value. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Let's do I'm going to take 3 10,000s and 5,000s, multiply it by 10. So I have 3 10,000s, 1, 2, 3, and 5,000s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm multiplying it by 10, so it's going to get larger. It's going to move to the left of my place value chart. Moving them over, multiplying by 10. I'm showing the math that's happening. Moving these guys over, times 10. So now I have 3 in my 100,000s, 5 in my 10,000s, and what needs to go in the place values that are less than the values that I have? I can't leave them blank. Remember, we have to put the 0 in. Find my thousands place. That's where my comma is going to go. So I would read this as 350,000. 350,000. Okay. Being able to convert our numbers from unit form to standard form is also something that we want to practice. So unit form is when it's just telling me I have 3 10,000s. Well, 3 10,000s, what would that look like in standard form? 5,000s, what would that look like? So 3 10,000s would be 30,000s. This is standard form, unit form. 5,000s, standard form, unit form. So that's something that we will be practicing in these next few lessons. So another example would be 5 10s plus 5 10s. What would that be equal to? Well, 5 10s I know is 50. So I can rewrite that in standard form. 5 10s I know is 50. So now that looks more similar to what we do with addition, right? 50 plus 50 is going to give me 100. Okay, so in small groups, we're going to make sure you guys are understanding these lessons. Okay, so lesson 3, being able to name numbers within 1 million. So we want to be able to read numbers all the way up to 1 million. That place value chart is going to help you place them correctly. So you are reading and writing these numbers correctly. And then we're also going to keep working on converting from unit form to standard form. All right. You guys are going to be masters of numbers by the time we're done with this module. We will, like I mentioned, keep working on this in our small groups this week. So that'll give you time to ask questions or anything else you need help with. All right, keep being all stars, and I will see you soon.